Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So in this video we're going to cover quite a few things. So the Diallo saga does continue. We keep getting little bits of hope, little bits of faith that he may return, and Fabrizio Romano has made a little comment on Twitter. Of course, Fabrizio being a hugely popular and famous figure in terms of football journalism, and he has the inside scoops on pretty much everything football related, so everything he says, it is generally true, and he gets there before Sky Sports and what have you, and I do use him for a lot of sort of transfer rumours and stuff like that, so we will have a look at that. Also, we have an update on the Ross Stewart situation regarding his contract and when he's going to be fit and all that kind of stuff. We'll have a chat about that as well, and at the end we're going to have a look at the fixture list, because the fixture list has been revealed yesterday. I was at work yesterday, so I couldn't do anything YouTube wise yesterday, but we're going to go through absolutely everything so far in this video. So firstly, let's have a look at the Ahmed Diallo, I said Ahmed then, Ahmed Diallo situation. Of course, when the season finished, he kept on leaving little hints, almost. I think he just loved his time with us, which is fair enough. He had a very, very successful loan spell. I don't want to think too much into things. There was even a rumour yesterday, and I do believe it was fake, maybe. It looked like it was a picture of him in a Sunderland shirt from one of the games, and then saying "see you soon" with the red and white circles. But then I looked on his Instagram and it wasn't there. Apparently it was done on his Snapchat, but again, I don't really use Snapchat, so I haven't looked at it. But apparently it's not there either. So I don't know where it's come from, unless it's been posted and deleted or someone just simply made it up. I don't know, but it did look like it come from an Ahmed Diallo account, his official one. So we'll see. I don't know what that was. But either way, as of this morning, Fabrizio Romano, he has tweeted this, saying, Ahmed Diallo's future is still open. Manchester United will make final decision on Ahmed in the next weeks. He hopes for first team chance, but it's up to Ten Hag. I understand in case Manchester United decide to loan Ahmed out, the player's preference will be Sunderland again. So for me personally, of course, I agree, and I do believe thoroughly that if Man United do want to loan him out again, I think he would want to come to us. You know, it's probably his most successful spell he's had in recent seasons. We loved him. Our style seems to suit him. And of course, he's an absolutely top-class player. He could easily play in the Premier League for me. And it shows how much the club has sort of got under his skin, you know, considering that he wants to come to us, because he will have Premier League suitors. And to be fair, Man United might want him or might prefer him to go to a Premier League club or someone who's maybe in Europe or someone of a higher standard than the Championship. The Championship's still a very high standard, of course, but you might want to send him to a top league. Or for me, I think personally, they're probably going to at least bare minimum look at him over the course of 2 or 3 games over pre-season and then make a decision. But I also think, you know, even though I have a huge admiration for Diallo, you know, there's a huge difference between the Championship and the Premier League, or, you know, Man United there going for the top 4 at least. Is Diallo cut out for that? I think potentially could be eventually, and within a certain side, within a certain squad, I think he could do it. It may be in the future. Now, I'm not entirely sure. Like I say, potential that lad could hit the roof. You know, he doesn't have a limit. You know, but whether Manchester United would want to stick with Diallo, who's had one really good season in the Championship with us, or half a season in the Championship with us, in terms of how good he was, because it was the first few months he wasn't really getting too much of game time, but then second half of the season particularly was outstanding. So essentially half a good season in the Championship. Does that amount, and does that mean he's ready for, you know, Champions League football? Maybe not. They might want to look elsewhere. They might want to go to a proven winger or a proven striker across Europe, and they might not favour Ahmed, which I think is likely. So I do think there is a chance he could come back on loan if he does make it, or if he is that adamant to Man United, and if Man United want to loan him back out. I think Diallo would push for a move back to Sunderland, which I'd be absolutely all for. And if I'm looking to the future, far too in front, but if we went up this season somehow, it's going to be incredibly difficult, but if we did somehow go up this season with Diallo on loan, I wouldn't bet against Diallo wanting to sign for us permanently if we were to go up. But again, that's thinking way down the line, and even if he was to sign on loan in the first place. But I think Diallo's heart is set on having a successful career at Manchester United, of course, and that's understandable. Manchester United, absolutely massive club, one of the biggest in the you know, on earth. You know, so he wants to be successful there, of course. But I think in the meantime, if they're not going to favour him, then he wants to come to us. So that is the whole Diallo situation. Now, in terms of Ross Stewart, there was a little bit, Speakman was talking yesterday at a sort of conference type thing. I believe it was at the Foundation on Light. And Ross Stewart came up, the whole Ross Stewart contract situation. Now, firstly, in terms of his fitness, they believe that he will probably just about be kicking the ball again or getting back on the grass again sort of mid to very late or maybe the end of pre-season. But it looks highly, highly unlikely that he will be fit and ready to go for the first game of the season. So that's the fitness side, first and foremost. So it's a massive injury, this, to Ross Stewart, and he was hampered, he was plagued with injuries. But in terms of contract situation, Speakman, the way he come across, it seems as though they are waiting until they see how his fitness comes along before they really push his contract. The contract is still there. Apparently, the talk's still there at least. But they haven't come to a conclusion and they are kind of waiting on his fitness. For me personally, as much as I love Ross Stewart and he's a goal scorer and he will get you goals, if we are going to have only one season left with him and he is going to be hampered with injuries again, cash in now. That sounds terrible. It sounds ridiculous because I know he can score goals at this level. But if we're only going to get one season and we have one season left with him and he's going to be injured and he doesn't want to be here and he's dragging it out, I say it with any player, but if you're our worst player or our best player, if you don't want to be here, don't want to be here, see you later, that's fair enough, bye, part ways. But hopefully, he can get a good recovery and then we do sign him down a long-term contract. Is that going to be the case? I don't know, and we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Is he weighing up his options? It's not like other players who are 21, 22 who can commit a 3-4 year deal to us because they might go on to better things and use us as a bit of a stepping stone. Ross Stewart's 26, 27 now. He's getting there. He might think, right, I might have one big move left in me. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I'd love to see him stay. Love to see him sign a new deal and get fit and start pumping goals for us. But again, if a player don't want to be here, see you later. That's it. But yeah, so that's the update on Diallo and Ross Stewart. Now to the fixtures that have been announced. We'll have a quick browse over. I won't bore you by just going through every single one. We'll just have a couple of pick-outs. We'll have a look at the first game of the season. We are going to be at the Stadium Light. It's a Sunday kickoff at 5 o'clock, which is, I think, shite that's terrible. But either way, we've got newly promoted Ipswich at the Stadium Light. Sky, of course, it's in front of the cameras. And that's a really good time. I mean, if you look at August in general, Ipswich, Preston, Rotherham and Coventry, all very winnable games. And I think that, of course, you need to play everyone anyway at some part of the season. But to hit the ground running, it is so, so important. Have a really good, positive start to the season. Ipswich, I'm not going to take him, sort of, what's the word? I'm not going to sort of look down on them because they've just come up. Of course not. Absolutely not. They're going to be a good side. They'll have that momentum from coming up, and they deserve to come up. They were excellent last season in League One, but to come to Stadium Light, I think they'll be absolutely raring to go. But you'd like to think on paper that we'll be able to beat them. That'd be a great start to the season. And Preston away, big. You got a big allocation at Preston. Was the Sunderland fans getting behind us? I think we could do it there again back at the Stadium Light with Rotherham, and then Coventry away, which is going to be a very, very difficult game, of course. But it's a really decent start there. But if we have a look at the festive period, of course you can see we've got October-wise, for those of you who are looking out for the likes of Middlesbrough, we've got Middlesbrough at the Stadium Light on Saturday the 7th of October. But if we have a look in the festive period, you've got Bristol City away on Saturday the 16th, you've got Coventry home just before Christmas on the 23rd, Boxing Day, we've got Hull away from home, and of course Preston at home as well on New Year's Day, and Rotherham, of course, 29th of December. Last game of the season as well, we have Sheff Wednesday at the Stadium. I'm glad we have a home game last game of the season because that run in there, with West Brom, Millwall, Watford, and Leeds as well. It's a really difficult month. Difficult month, April, and then to end it with a home game, which could favour us. It's a difficult league, and I think when you look at the fixture list, that's when you really start to sit up and notice how difficult this is because there's so many teams there that could there's literally like 13, 14 teams that could easily have a shout for a playoff place. So it's going to be incredibly difficult. Again, I'm not going to go through every single fixture, boy. You can see it. You can see it on the screen, and you can rewind it if you need to have a look at it at the images. But that is everything, guys. Is there any fixture in particular that you're looking out for? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about the whole Diallo situation, the Ross Stewart situation? If Ross Stewart simply just wants to go, would you let him go? Would you be okay with that if we cashed in for him? What do you think? Let me know again in the comments down below. If you enjoyed, hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sassy Army. But for now, take care and stay jammy.